Swedish economy entered a technical recession in the third quarter as gross domestic product fell 0.1% compared with the previous quarter. Preliminary figures from the statistics office showed on Tuesday. Swedish GDP also declined in the second quarter. An economy is considered to be in recession when the economy has contracted for 2 consecutive quarters. Compared to the same quarter a year earlier, gross domestic was down 0.1%. Analysts had forecast the economy would expand by 0.4% in the July-September quarter from the April-June period and to grow by 0.7% compared to last year. The preliminary data is likely to be revised when final figures are published. So these are not even the final figures, but based on the forecast, Swedish economy is in recession already. In September, GDP expanded 0.1% compared to the same month last year, but fell 0.4% compared to August. Sweden's gross domestic product decreased in September, which together with weak development in July contributed to negative growth for the third quarter as a whole compared with the previous quarter, Sweden's statistics office said. Sweden's economy has been sluggish for the past year. At its most recent meeting in September, the Riksbank said it expected to cut the policy rate at the 2 remaining meetings this year, one of which will be a half percentage point cut and once or twice more in the first half of 2025. The Swedish economy remains stagnant, Swedbank said in a note. The outcome suggests a somewhat higher probability for a bigger move in November, and we stick to our call of a 50-point rate cut at the Riksbank's policy meeting next week, it said. Sometimes why I read news or I talk about news about the economies that are not doing well in the West here is just to educate some Africans that there are economies in the West here that are not doing fine. There are countries in the West here that are very poor, but some Africans don't know it. And why I read news like this is that if you're an African and you're planning to travel, no matter what the agent is promising you, no matter what anybody is promising you, make your own inquiry. Understand, have a big knowledge of that country. What is the economy of that country like? How are you going to integrate yourself? How are you going to get your stay in that country? How is the housing system in that country like? What is the retirement age like? What is that society like to bring your children up in? There's a whole lot. That's why sometimes I bring news like this to educate my people, so my people will understand what is happening in some of these countries.